On this day, January 1966, three young siblings, 9-year-old Jane, 7-year-old Arna, and 4-year-old Grant Beaumont disappeared from an Adelaide beach in Australia. Their disappearance remains one of the country's most baffling cold cases. But what happened to the Beaumont children? It was a hot summer's day in Adelaide, Australia. The year was 1966, and 9-year-old Jane Beaumont had taken her two younger siblings, 7-year-old Arna and 4-year-old Grant, down to the beach for a swim. Their mother, Nancy, had just returned from a trip to the shops and had told them not to go far into the water. It was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the children left their towels and buckets on the sand and ran off towards the water. It was about 20 minutes later when Mrs. Beaumont noticed that they hadn't come back and she couldn't see them in the water. She began to call out for them, and soon other onlookers joined in. When it became clear that the children were nowhere to be seen, Mrs. Beaumont knew something was wrong and she ran to the nearby police call box to raise the alarm. A massive search operation was launched, but there was no sign of the Beaumont children. Despite extensive searches of the area, the children were nowhere to be found. The only clue was an abandoned red and white striped towel on the beach. This led investigators to suspect that the children had been kidnapped, but they had no other leads. In the weeks that followed, hundreds of people came forward with information, but each lead turned out to be a dead end. Some people claimed to have seen the children with a group of strangers, while others reported seeing them being forced into a car. However, none of these sightings could be verified, and the case grew colder as time went on. Despite the lack of progress, the police continued to investigate the case for several years. They followed up on every lead, no matter how small, and conducted numerous searches of the Beaumont family home. They also released composite sketches of the main suspect, a man described as being in his late 30s with a receding hairline and a heavy build. However, despite the efforts of the police, the case remains unsolved to this day. There are many theories as to what happened to the Beaumont children. Some believe that they were abducted by a stranger, while others believe that they were taken by someone close to the family. There have even been suggestions that the children ran away from home after an argument with their mother. However, this is not supported by any evidence and has been dismissed by the police. What makes the case of the Beaumont children so unusual is that there was no apparent motive for their kidnapping. Unlike many other child abduction cases, there was no ransom demand, and the children were never seen begging or heard crying out for help. This suggests that whoever took them had no intention of returning them, but it doesn't explain why. Another strange aspect of the case is that the children seem to have vanished into thin air. There was no witnesses to their disappearance, and the only clue was their abandoned towel on the beach. This has led some people to believe that the children were taken by aliens, but there is no evidence to support this theory. The disappearance of the Beaumont children is one of Australia's most famous unsolved mysteries. And each year there are renewed calls for the government to reopen the case. In 2009, a coronial inquest was held but was unable to determine what had happened to the children. The Beaumont family are still searching for answers and hope that one day they will find out what happened to their loved ones. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think happened to the Beaumont children? Was it a stranger or someone close to the family? Or do you think there is another explanation entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about similar cases, then check out the playlist. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.